every episode.
But Naruto, when he has his fighting spirit, it's once in a kind of like, once in an arc.
No, wait. This is Deku. Deku is fighting spirit every single time. Deku is Bryan Danielson.
It's losing its element. Like, I want to be able to watch a few episodes where it's just like, okay, you're chill and this, that. One thing pisses you off. Like, for me, the best fighting spirit was Swerve versus Bryan Danielson, because it felt genuine. It felt this. But now you're coming to do fighting spirit in on a TV match. I'm not
I
sorry.
hear it.
Hello guys, welcome to Tea and Tussle.
Woo!
We're back
That's so
again.
enthusiastic, Natalie.
Oh, sorry, I have the tea ready.
Oh,
She
God.
has the tea ready. She says she got the tea. She has all the tea.
I'll let
today.
you have that, I guess.
Woo!
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's it. That's the kind of enthusiasm that we like, because the tea that we have this week is very tea-tastic. I was thinking of a word.
It's very hot.
It's very hot. It's piping.
It's burning. It's
Tea-tastic.
scalding.
Tea-tastic is
That's what you came up with.
yes.
See, tea-tastic, I think of tang-fastic, so I was like, it don't work.
No, it does work. Guys, come on. CBBS culture. Come on.
It's okay.
CBBS?
We're forgetting our roots here.
Some of us were CBC. So
Well, you never watched CBBS?
Yo.
I did, but I was more CBBC.
R.I.P.
Alright.
CBBC anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, how have you guys been?
I've been ill, so if I'm sniffly here, apologies, but bear with.
Nice. How have you been?
I've been living life,
She's
man.
been living her best life.
Oh.
Like, I can't lie. I said to these guys before, forgive me because I'm hanging. I can't lie. I had a weekend, but
Angela went flying.
And I was giving male advice to boys. Yeah.
Oh
if
my
you know,
days.
you know. If you know, you know.
Oh dear.
she was giving. Oh God, man, them really do need advice.
They
these
do need
days.
advice, I can't lie.
They need to be
'Cause,
sat down. Walk with me, my brother.
Like, take my hand. Let me guide you.
Be
Story
guided.
time.
Let's be guided.
Let's be
Wow.
guided.
Story time with Chidira and Ange. Hey.
But anyway, before we digress into something that is not wrestling related, what has been the tea this week?
Has it just been this week or
The past few weeks.
guys? Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I was about to say a certain chairman.
certain ex-chairman.
Oh yeah, ex-chairman.
Ex-chairman of the board.
Has been at the forefront of WWE news. Where do we begin?
Not even
with?
just wrestling news in general.
Yeah, wrestling news, mainstream news.
Yeah.
To be fair, because I had people coming up to me being like, "Have you watched the documentary yet?" And they weren't
Yeah.
even wrestling fans.
I only finished the documentary this morning.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Netflix has produced a Vincent Kennedy McMahon story-based documentary on Netflix. I mean, hence Netflix, yeah. But obviously we have done our homework and we have watched the Netflix documentary. And we have some words.
I have some words for Vince, mainly.
Yeah.
Let's start with your words for
Because
Vince.
the way this man was tweeting about the whole documentary, he
Yeah.
made it seem like it was an expose.
Yeah.
And that they did him dirty.
They did him. For
Completely.
me,
Go on.
I felt that was... Vince is a smart guy. Let's
He's
be
a-
real.
yeah.
He's a smart
Yeah.
guy. I felt that was a marketing
marketing,
strategy.
Yeah.
Just for us, because I'm not going to lie, when he tweeted that, and I'm sure Chidira will clip the tweet here.
I mean, I can also even just say that in general,
Yeah.
the tweet was Vince had asked viewers to remain open-minded and to remember that there are two sides to every story, which is very disingenuous given the severity of the crimes he has committed.
Yeah. So, yeah, marketing strategy to get people really shocked into thinking like, oh, this documentary
this
is
is
gonna
gonna be in
This
detail.
is gonna be the tea. This is gonna be
And
against my
I
wishes.
feel like for
I don't know
people
if it was.
who've been grown up watching WWE or watching wrestling in general, none of the things that were said in the documentary
They weren't
were
shocking.
shock. Like
Yeah.
we all knew this. This was made for people who don't really watch wrestling
Yeah.
Yep.
on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Yep. It was essentially made to entice new fans and give them, because I was really confused why there wasn't Episode 5, The Family Business, gave us a bit more information on Vince and the family. Episode 1 and slightly 2 did as well. But in general, it was, here's a brief history of WWF turned WWE and what's been going on behind the scenes. Because, like, talking about specific storylines, talking about the Clique, talking about Hogan, talking about NWO, Eric Bischoff, and then Bischoff getting his last final say as much as he could. It was a brief history of WWE, which is why actually I look at it as Netflix's advert to wrestling to entice new fans.
For Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. If you don't remember, WWE and Netflix have done a deal where Monday Night Raw will be showcased live on Netflix. It wasn't really about Vince. It was about WWE. And they didn't really... I understand, obviously, it was filmed before a lot of the... I don't want to use the expose, but it was filmed... Yeah, allegations. Oh, yeah, expose doesn't even work in this context. It was obviously filmed before the allegations came out, and then Vince refused to film the last parts. But even then... I was looking at it and it wasn't the expose. That's where the word fits in. It wasn't the expose I thought it was going to be. Especially Twitter made me think it was actually this massive call out on Vince. And to be honest, what it really did in terms of enticing fans for the product, I think they focused more on like, well, this is the past. Vince was bad and he's done some bad things there. And like, with wrestlers, there were some bad things there. But it's not like that now because, there's new viewers, there's new leadership and stuff. Vince was ousted. So it's better now to come watch it. That's how it started to feel. And to be honest, it was the last episode focusing on the allegations, but they didn't really focus until the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So...
Bro, I had to put that thing on. I was even coming late, so I had to put it on 1.5 speed so I can rush and finish it. And when it finished, I was like, "Is that it?"
Yeah. Like some of the episodes, like at the end, and I'm just like you said, some of these stuff, like as wrestling fans who talk wrestling on a day-to-day basis, you already know half this stuff.
Yeah.
You already know that this is how the business is and this is what's happened in the business and these are the kind of stuff that have made the business.
And we even know it in more
today.
detail than how the show, how the documentary presented it.
Which makes me wonder how much they had to cut back because I mentioned to you guys earlier, they didn't touch on anything about Laurinaitis.
No.
Who's been heavily involved.
We saw him in like the first, like a little clip of him in the first thing.
And I believe Laurinaitis has allegations against him made as well. I will say they introduced me to some information I didn't know. I obviously knew about stuff with Pat Patterson, but I did not know anything about this Ring Boys scandal.
Yeah.
And then Tony Atlas, who was probably the only one who was truthfully honest for about most of the things, telling us about his experience with Pat Patterson, which is also a reminder, bringing Laurinaitis back into it, how much they just swept under the rug because yes, Vince was the chairman and was the beginning, but he was not the only one who was doing all sorts of crazy, disgusting things. And so...
I think that's where they wanted to focus it more on Vince. Rather than everybody as a whole.
Yeah.
Because even though Vince did a lot of things, there were other people involved in those things that he did. But because the documentary is titled is Mr. McMahon, they just decided not to focus on those bits.
Yeah, because there's issues with the management of the product itself. Vince had created a legacy within how the business, how the business deals with talent and stuff. So, I felt like maybe they should have gone into more regarding that. But I get it. The title is Mr. McMahon, but... It
definitely, especially when you're talking about how they obviously treated talent, like one thing that definitely stood out to me in that aspect was I wish they went more into the treatment of Jesse Ventura after he tried to make the union.
It.
And obviously, like I said, we as wrestling fans know that Vince and Hogan relationship is just one of a kind, right? So again, those spoiler alert for people. We forgot to do a massive spoiler alert for those who...
If you haven't watched, you should watch.
But obviously, spoiler alert, Jesse Ventura wanted to create a union
Was that a spoiler?
No, for the whole documentary.
Sorry.
So yeah, if Jesse Ventura wanted to create a union to protect the wrestlers, and Hogan with his fast self went and goes snitched straight to Vince, and Vince was basically said, if any of you people go to that meeting, you're losing your jobs.
Yeah.
And then nobody showed up, obviously. Yeah. And I don't even know where to go there. Again, it goes through the treatment of the wrestlers because, again, these wrestlers were working... emphasize on the fact that these wrestlers were working 365 days of the year, 52 weeks, no breaks, no nothing, just constantly working to basically put their lives and souls into the business. And people were working injured. People were, they wanted to spend time with their family. They didn't get to do all of that. It was just...
Yeah. I will say I've got 3 points to make, but I'll make the third one a bit later. Even just thinking about the documentary, I'm not actually sure how much we focused on Vince. I wanted to learn more about his upbringing, and I don't know if it's a case because Vince wasn't going to talk, but he alluded to like a lot of things, about the abuse he had growing up.
The way they glided over that incest thing. They mentioned
abuse over from his stepfather, abuse from his mother, who he remained close to up until her death, and then showed a clip of her at WrestleMania.
He was like, my dad abused me. Incest happened. I was like, incest? Can you call let's go back to that.
Dirt poor. He constantly mentioned, but there wasn't any detail. In fact, even just the detail of like how him and Linda got to be was very like glossed over. So actually, we didn't learn per se much about why Vince
is the way that he is.
The premise of that kind of conversation the conclusion was, because my dad raised me to be a tough guy. It was just sort of just like that, and I was just like,
and I feel like even throughout that there was a lot of things that he said that he didn't realize that he was saying.
No, completely,
because he was saying, my stepfather abused me, but in my belief, hurt people shouldn't hurt people, and yet you are the hurt person hurting other people.
The exact quote here.
Bro, what are you doing? What are you saying? It doesn't make any sense.
Completely. Vince mentions the physical abuse he received at the hands of his stepfather. He said, and I quote, "You just live with it till you get out of it." And in my head, I'm just like, I wonder if he applied that to everything else in his life, because it, like, in a way, it's him excusing the abuse he had done to like a lot of people, and not even just the objectifying of women, the like how he treated wrestlers, but even just his everyday mantra in how he approached business and how, everything he does is okay, but once someone comes after him, it's not. It's just a really interesting.
Yeah, because when they mentioned the whole, he used to take over different territories in wrestling, and then when WCW did it to him, he didn't like it. Yeah. And I was like, bro, you literally just did that.
Yeah.
And then the people who were producing the show, they asked him the same question that I'm asking now. And he was like, yeah, but da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, bro, you're not listening with your mind.
Yeah.
And I realized, I think this guy might have ADD.
Yeah.
Or he has like an attention deficit disorder. He doesn't really picture. I think he explained that in the documentary. He doesn't really, he has like 3 different minds working at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you need to like figure out what you're doing and what you're saying.
What you want to say. I'd like to approach the women aspect of
go for it.
No, absolutely.
Do I even know where to start? I mean, we all agree they chose people who had a relationship and had a positive relationship with Vince, because the only female wrestler, excluding Stephanie McMahon, who, I mean, like, that's a conflict of interest because he's literally his daughter, was Trish Stratus. I mean, okay, so I think they had Wendy, but that wasn't a positive.
I want to go backtrack to that just a bit.
Yeah.
So obviously in the documentary they mentioned briefly of the whole situation with Wendy Richter and how her relationship with Cyndi Lauper and all of that. That was sort of starting to bring people more into the pop. That was sort of tying in pop culture and wrestling through the women's division. One of my takeaways in terms of how this documentary portrayed itself and how the women's division has come to this day is that I am very upset that Wendy Richter was not given the chance to catapult the women's division. I believe that if they had just left Fabulous Moolah and her stupid cronyisms and nonsensical scandals to the side, I believe firmly in my heart that the trajectory of women's wrestling would have changed completely, because Wendy Richter at that time she was a star in her time, especially someone who is, when you're in the kind of shadows of Hulk Hogan, who was dominating that scene, she was sort of almost at that level, in the sense that she was bright and loud and brash, and you know, she had the look, she had the delivery.
Was part of one of the biggest storylines for them.
Exactly. And then when you have people like Fabulous Moolah, who I highly recommend that if you want to get more out of that story, watch Dark Side of the Ring, Fabulous Moolah's edition particularly, which really explains how sort of she came to dominate the women's division, but not catapult it into greater heights. She was very selfish in her decision making, that she wanted to be the top woman. They even did the whole Spider Lady, I think, gimmick that kind of just ruins the whole thing. And you see the screw job that happens with Wendy Richter with this whole Fabulous Moolah situation. And it sort of upsets me that, like if Wendy Richter, if they just had saw it at past Fabulous Moolah, who, again, you touched on that who had a particular relationship with Vince McMahon, I just think that the women's division
issues,
and she had her own
sexual.
They made it seem like Wendy Richter, and Vince was like, oh, Wendy wanted to keep the belt to herself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that was the whole situation. I think she saw that she was on the rise and everybody loved her, and she wanted the division to be where she was. But I don't think Vince saw it that way. And that's why he went to Moolah.
My only thing is that I think it was only a matter of time, and I'm only saying this based on some of the things Vince himself said in the documentary. It was only a matter of time in which they had that sort of break in pushing women up to the top like that, because they justified including women in the 90s when they needed to be more edgy, have attitude and stuff. They justified the objectification of women because society was doing that. Society was getting sexier. That was literally his quote. So my thing is that him and Wendy were going to have a dispute in the future, even if that screw job didn't happen, and she was going to leave at some point one way or another, and the whole objectification of women was going to happen whenever. That storyline with Trish and Vince, that was still going to happen because Vince blurred the line so much with his own personal affairs and issues. He was going to push that. He mentioned how he was Mr. McMahon is essentially a sexual deviant and stuff. So all of these things were going to happen. So like, even if there was a push towards the women's division, I think actually it maybe would have catapulted for a short period of time, and then it would have fallen into this whole objectification mess and so forth, and then we would still be back in the same way again and stuff, which is a shame, because actually I can totally see Wendy, and I mean there were other people who were upcoming as well, but you know, I just don't trust Vince to. I don't think Vince would have even pushed her, even if Wendy had won in that situation, because Vince saw women as less than anyway. So yeah. It's a shame. But yeah, so just the documentary itself is a very interesting.
I just think it was interesting, the people that they picked
to
speak. Because even in terms of like highlighting the good natures of Vince McMahon, when it came to them answering a question on his legacy, none of them could say a word.
None of them could say anything.
They were like, what's Vince's legacy? Silence. Yeah. And then John Cena was like, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask this question to.
Which means they know
so
all
you
the
know
crap
nothing
that he's
about
done.
him.
They know all the crap he's done, but they're too scared to say anything because they'll tread the line and they'll put them in the bad light.
I'm glad Netflix put that in there, because it shows that they're all just like glossing over everything that he's done and making him out to be a good guy, even though you know in your heart of hearts that you don't like him and he's not a good person.
Because like I said, when I was seeing at the first, like literally the first episode, the first few minutes, and the people that they picked, it was very telling.
Obvious.
Very telling. Like, as CM Punk would have said in his famous pipe bomb, there's a lot of kiss asses in this thing. Except from two people who just shone like shining stars to me, Tony Atlas and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes.
Oh my God.
When it came, the first thing he was like, Vince is a prick.
Yeah.
I said, we're getting the tea today. We're getting the tea today.
Bret the Hitman Hart. And do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Dave Meltzer, a bit. Dave Meltzer,
even the Paul Heyman
a little bit, and the guy that kept writing articles about him, he was good as
Oh,
well.
I know his name's I know the guy with glasses.
Yeah.
Bald head.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bret the Hitman Hart, I'm proud of you. Because before, obviously, I always had an issue with Bret Hart just being in WWE space anyway.
I know you
because
did.
it's just like, no, for me, because it's just like these people clearly do not respect you. And a telling scene was when Bret Hart obviously was talking about his screw job, and he said something, and then they immediately panned to Vince, and then they were like, Bret, anyway, whatever he says in it. They clearly don't respect you, but yet you keep showing your face on WWE TV and allowing them to embarrass you. Like,
Because
obviously,
they say business is good for business.
like, obviously, recently we all saw Bret Hart show up on Raw. Gunther went and spoke to him and said, Goldberg, of all people, is better than you.
Bro.
Like
They don't respect him at
they
all.
don't respect him, and it's like, of all people, again, as wrestling fans, we know what Goldberg does in the ring is not spectacular.
No.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's like what he's got a good entrance. He has his little power bombs.
Love
and
the
this,
entrance row, by the way.
but comparing wrestling
let's be
abilities,
for real.
let's be for real.
And even Bret knew in himself that these people don't respect him, because the character that they gave to his brother, that's the clear sign of disrespect.
Clear sign of
and that
disrespect.
actually made me so sad.
Yeah.
That I almost cried at that part. I had to switch it
I've
off.
seen that pay-per-view and it was just rehashing everything.
And then
I was just like,
when
oh.
during like that whole part, and then you saw the Vince interviews that he was doing in regards to the Owen incident, the guy didn't care about what he was saying. He just said anything that came to mind.
Business is business.
Yeah.
Everything, put the business
Yeah.
first. The what's it called? The fans didn't see it, therefore it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Let's continue the show.
Let's continue the
Yeah.
show.
He was like, "Oh, even if it was me, I'd still continue the show." No, for what? No, you wouldn't.
I was
Don't
just
be
like-
silly.
It's a shame. I mean, the documentary highlighted it, and it still took a while after the fact, but it took Chris Benoit to really actually kind of force changes into the product and to the safety of wrestlers, but in a way linking to the safety of fans, because fans copy what wrestlers do. But yeah, no, you're so right. It's
Yeah, because obviously they touched on how, the demographic that they're trying to appeal to,
Family business.
which is obviously the 18 to 34-year-old bracket.
Yeah.
And those men are quite highly impressionable. And one interesting thing that Vince did say was that we are just following the trends.
Yeah.
We are not the trendsetters, we are following the trends. And what they like is what we are going to produce. Hence the reason why we got a plethora of the things that happened in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, like, it was another thing that I found really funny. It wasn't funny. It was just funny, stupid. It was, sorry to you and your goat, yeah.
Oh!
But Stone Cold Steve Austin and this whole CTE saga, I was like, bro, are you dumb? This is how I know you were concussed. Because you're not using your brain sensibly.
Could we end on 2 segments from me about, because it incorporates
AJ's just sad because she's like, how can my
you
goat
want
do
to
this
address
to me?
this, and then I end on 2 segments?
Address your goat.
Address it, and then I'll go to my
Address your
last
goat.
bits I want to say.
I don't wanna
Okay,
I have no
address
words
your
to
goat.
say.
Okay, I'll start. If you don't want to address, I'll start with my silly thoughts, and then I'll end on something that I thought was funny.
Wait, before you
on.
end on your any takeaways from this particular documentary?
I think those who are old school, they need to get with the times. Mainly The Undertaker.
Oh, of course.
That's also
Get
my silly
with
thought.
the times and get out of your old school head.
But
Yeah.
like
It's
I said,
actually okay.
But like I said, these are the people who are always at the top.
Yeah.
These are the people that Vince trusted and gave the company. They are obviously going to turn around and say, you know what? Whatever Vince says, Vince is a genius.
And
The same from Hulk Hogan. Even though Hulk Hogan did what he did, the same from Hulk Hogan, the same from The Rock, the same from John Cena, the same from Stone Cold, the same from The Undertaker. And even Cody was showing a bit of elements of that. They are going to...
Cody is just his daddy's son.
He's just his daddy's son.
But another takeaway I had is everybody say thank you, Shawn Michaels. Because without Shawn Michaels going out there in booty shorts, you wouldn't have
the attitude.
You wouldn't have the attitude
You
era.
wouldn't have the attitude
So
era.
everybody say thank you, Shawn Michaels right now.
You wouldn't have it. My final takeaways on the documentary itself. It's a great documentary, great cinematography. I liked seeing how they embedded clips to sort of either counter what people were saying or to justify what people were saying. Overall, though, just in general, it wasn't an expose in which we thought it was going to be, and it was a great advert for what we will see on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, one of my favorite parts, especially when they were doing the kind of thing, was when Vince was having this moment. He's like, I wish my daddy was proud of me. It's like, I was just, you know, it was, and then he died, and then, you know, I love that man. And then Tony Atlas, I don't think he liked that guy. He's like, I don't even think he liked that guy.
My one was when Vince was like, we didn't kill anybody, and then you showed a buried alive match, and then he said, we didn't, there was no brutality showing. And then they kept countering it with clips, and I was like, Netflix are doing their job.
They're doing
their job.
Yeah. Obviously, I've when it came to my takeaway, obviously I stand on the Wendy Richter part. I feel like the trajectory of women's wrestling would have changed if they had just given a chance. If like not in but I agree with you. Maybe not for the long term, but maybe just for a short term where they can start respecting women's wrestling. That they know that okay, this is gonna be you know this is what it could be. Another one was his relationship with Shane McMahon.
Yeah. Shane.
And the breaking of sort of this generational kind of curse that we see today. And like, you know, Vince Sr. treated Vince Jr. a certain way, and Vince Jr. had to sort of prove himself to his dad that, oh, I can catapult this company into different heights. Yeah. I have to work hard. I have to, you know, slave away for this company to be able to like, and obviously you can see that Vince Sr. did not believe in his son at all.
Yeah,
and, you know,
in fact, he treated him 10 times worse than probably what his dad.
And then Vince Jr. trying to have that same sentiment to Shane,
and it not working.
So
and it not working. Shane I felt sorry for him. Like,
Shane was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to leave.
Yeah, out of all the McMahons, you can tell that Shane is the one that is the most sane one.
Talent are always saying how much they love Shane and how nice Shane was.
Yeah, when Tony Atlas was like, he's just a nice guy. I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
And he was the more conservative one. You could see that he was the one that a lot of these storylines, he was like, no, I'm not with it.
Especially the stuff involving his sister.
Oh, exactly. He was very protective over his sister because he was like, it was so funny when he was like, when they were briefly touching on Triple H and Shane and Stephanie McMahon's relationship. And Shane was like, you could still tell to this day, he's like, why is he married to her? Why is she married to Triple H? Like, why? He was like to Vince, like, why are you going to let her marry someone like Triple H? Like, come on. But I know that Vince was definitely doing that for the story, because immediately, why would you go and say, why don't you guys get married on TV?
Yeah.
But you could tell that Shane like walked away, and it kind of touched me in the sense that a lot of, you know, kids of the generation today are walking away from generational curses, or walking away from all these generational pressures from these toxic parents and stuff like that, and saying, you know what, I'm going to forge a life of my own. Obviously, he went away, had his experience, came back, but as we know today, he's gone. Like, he's still gone. But he had his ideas. He was like, let's buy UFC. No, okay, let's do this. Look at you now. Put a knife in my heart. And
my God, how abusive!
Do you know what I mean?
And like, you're not a man enough if you don't kill me.
Exactly.
It's the fact that people were hearing that, like, Paul Heyman recollected that from memory. Like, people are hearing you saying these things to yourself. You're not a normal person.
You're not a normal person. And it's very telling that why Vince McMahon wanted to give he wanted to give the company to Stephanie, because Stephanie was like him from the get-go. But also, I have to say, another point especially was the premise for Netflix is that they wanted to basically emphasize that wrestling characters is just an emphasis of who they are as a real person. And obviously the McMahon character is just an emphasis of who Vince McMahon really is. Because Stone Cold, they immediately pan to Stone Cold and say Stone Cold was just an exaggeration of who I am.
But they caught Vince out in doing that, because Vince first said that he was nothing like his Mr. McMahon character, and then he said he started to blur the lines, and maybe he's lost track on where Vince starts and where Mr. McMahon ends.
It's so funny because at the literal first episode, they said that WWE emulates real life. The whole storyline with Sergeant Slaughter and Hulk Hogan was emulating real life. So he basically said that only for him to turn around and say, we don't do that. I'm not the Vince
But he
McMahon
literally took
character.
elements. He took his affairs. He took so many elements of his life and
made it
Made
into
it, yeah.
wrestling storyline. So a lot of contradictions here and there.
Yeah.
But I know you're waiting to say.
I'm not. It's just
Yeah.
a case of like, I just thought I would list all the silly thoughts I had and then all the catching strays. Silly thoughts. Vince got his eyebrows plucked, shaped, and dyed. Taker still hated video games even in the early 90s. Oh yeah, I mentioned about Vince's definition of providing family friendly entertainment was basically debunked with every clip that they showed. It's really creepy that Vince wanted to impregnate his daughter in storyline. That was gross. And yeah, I felt sorry for Shane. But the more important thing I want to do is what I call Natalie's segment, her list of who caught strays in this documentary, because many people caught strays. First one, Stephanie McMahon. For your interview in 2013, when they asked you about Mike Tyson being a controversial choice at the time, and you saying that he didn't rape anyone at that point.
She's just silly.
Are you okay? Steve Austin on CTE and concussions.
Silly guy.
Even if you don't believe in CTE, you know that, let's remove Benoit from the equation. Accidents happen in the ring. So many wrestlers have been dying young from like headshots, all of this stuff. Like, Hogan being Hogan.
I mean, Hogan is Hogan, isn't it?
There's no explanation needed.
Hogan knows best.
Bruce Pritchard defending Vince's humanity.
Bruce can go to hell. Like, to the depths of his core, this man was defending Vince McMahon as if they were blood brothers. It's actually okay.
So when he brought up Vince supporting him and his family because his wife got cancer, I was like, I think we're forgetting here that two things can be
true
correct
at
at the same time. So Vince could be this family man who supports you to your depths and, you know, is loving and caring for you, but he could also be heinous to other people around him. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the documentary said it themselves best. Vince created a product that we all love, but is also a problematic human being. Those two things are true.
Yeah.
So,
And it's down to the power structure because, again, Vince did these heinous things to people because he knew that these people were going to come back to him. He knew, and it showed in every sort of character. Unfortunately, Bret Hart was one of them. Bret Hart, for me, like I said, with the whole Owen Hart situation, I would never venture to that depth again. Like, if you did that, like, nah, stand on 10 toes.
I mean, his wife completely has removed herself.
And then on top of that, the whole Eric Bischoff situation. I acquired WCW. You're going to come work for me. It's like a kind
in
of
his
game
head, it's
to
like
him.
business means business, and that's what they said. So
the whole, even down to the whole Sable situation.
Yeah.
She made allegations
and they made it
against
into
him.
a storyline, blurring it once again.
Exactly.
So,
And Ashley Mazzara as well.
Ashley.
But his thing was, you know what, I can put this aside because of the business.
Nothing is personal.
But really and truly, it's a narcissistic power play.
Yeah.
Like, you just know these people are going to come running back to me. And it's just...
Yeah.
And like I said, I think Shane was... Well, even Shane went back.
I know.
Even
Everybody
Shane
went back.
That's
Everyone
the
went
toxic
back.
relationship and control level. Two more things. Vince himself, we've already said it. He said he's nothing like the character Mr. McMahon, but admitting at the end of the documentary that the lines are blurred and it's an exaggeration. And then finally, I mean, this just came into my head, but I'm actually going to give a stray to The Rock for talking about how Vince doesn't see colour. And went on a whole spiel on, you know, Vince doesn't see black or white. He just sees green and stuff. And I'm just like, if that was the case, why did it take so long for even just looking at, black people, black wrestlers
even
and
The
their
Rock
complexities.
to become
For The Rock
to be champion. Don't piss me off, bro.
And interestingly, actually, just to dispel myths and what, because I always see argues on Reddit and I know it's from white people, I'm just saying, The Rock himself said he was the first person of color champion.
Yeah, that's what
Let's
he said.
leave it at that.
That's what The Rock said.
That's what The Rock said.
The Rock says.
Anyways,
The Rock.
My final takeaway on this whole documentary is that more people need to stand on business.
Need to stand on business. Yeah.
You know the truth. Just stand on business. It's actually okay.
You need to watch wrestling to know the truth.
Who is going to kill you? Nobody's going to kill you anymore. The man's not there. He's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's actually okay.
Yeah, no, I know. Sorry, just going back to the not seeing color thing, that emphasizes the whole rhetoric of an unwillingness to see cultural links and blah, blah, blah. I won't go deep into it. But for The Rock to also say that Vince doesn't see color and then have the complexities of black wrestlers in wrestling and Vince, how much blackface was in the show, how many derogatory slurs we've seen in the show, the fact that black wrestlers hadn't been paid.
Didn't Vince himself say the N-word?
Exactly. Black wrestlers, there's a disparity for pay for black wrestlers. I can go on and on and on.
Because Tony Atlas said a great point. Who am I to Pat Patterson?
Like,
I can just go. Like, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Compared to, like, he would rather, Pat Patterson is more of a asset to him than I am to him.
Yeah. So I'll end it there. But yeah, I'll go deep on another
time.
But
yeah, honestly, I mean, we've basically said our stance on the Vince. It's one for the people who don't know that what particular is going on, but obviously there is gonna, like, recommendations are out there. Please research more, because again, it's just touching the surface of what has really gone on in the whole WWF franchise. Definitely recommendations. Go watch Dark Side of the Ring, which obviously touches upon more deeper, more nuanced topics, especially with the women's division, especially with the Attitude Era, especially with the deaths linking to Chris Benoit and Owen Hart. Definitely, like, good introduction, but definitely
there's more to know. We know they've been cutting out so much stuff.
It's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
If you really want to go down to the depths, it's information that's out there.
Yeah.
Cool. And now we've got Bad Blood this weekend.
Yeah, you know what? I even forgot.
You know what? I
can't
lie.
Attention.
The build up to Bad Blood has not been sweetening me at all. It's not been interesting me. It's not been drawing me. It's not been either. There is one particular build that has been. I can't lie. It has sweetened me, but it was more so of a segment. But I will go through the matches anyway, and we will give our predictions.
I'm just gonna get thumb up, thumb down.
So obviously we've been seeing Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I'm actually not sure.
That's what I think. I still don't know.
Not me saying thumbs up, thumbs down, and now I'm
like silent.
Don't know.
The stipulation is that
Dominic is in a cage.
Dominic will be in a shark cage
yeah.
on the entrance ramp. Now, this is a full circle moment, because it seems like Dominic's life seems to be hanging on a thread on top of a ring somewhere.
Yeah.
The first time it being a briefcase.
Yeah, who's his father now?
The custody.
What's the custody battle?
The custody. Yeah, everybody knows the infamous custody
that
match
was my
between
first
Rey
match.
Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero.
That was my first.
What an introduction to
wrestling. That was an introduction.
What an introduction. For me, I felt it goes back to us talking about the previous sort of topic, like blurring the lines. I felt that was too extreme.
I wonder how the teachers felt at school when he went the next day, being like,
so who's your daddy? So who's signing these? Who's signing the permission slip for you to go on this trip? Is it Ray?
It says R, but it shouldn't be E.
And I'm not gonna lie, he's looking so much more like Eddie now.
Oh, he looks so much like Eddie.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I still don't know. I don't know who's gonna win.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? These predictions that we give aren't the final predictions. You'll get them on Twitter, but we're just gonna say now we don't know who's winning this.
Okay, no, I say let's just give names.
I think Rhea Ripley should
I was going to say Rhea.
I think Rhea Ripley should
I'm
take
not falling into this trap.
Just pick one. Do heads or tails? The first person that comes to your mind.
Liv.
There you go.
No, tomorrow I'll change my mind. So
yeah,
Rhea, Liv, Rhea.
I don't know.
Rhea, I think my reasoning is just that I just
did Rhea win the last one?
No, she didn't.
The tag team one she won, but the first one she lost.
She lost because Dominic.
Maybe
I feel like she might win and then hit Dominic afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true. I don't know. I'll figure it out tonight.
But I think definitely I would like Rhea Ripley to walk away with the championship, because I am tired of Liv Morgan just gives me nothing.
I'm tired of the Judgment Day.
I just
like entwined in
I
all
hear
of this.
it. I just think creatively, the Raw Women's Championship has not been booked well compared to the SmackDown ones.
No.
And there's been talk about how it like Rhea hasn't had a singles match on Raw in like over a year. That's crazy. And I feel like if they were to give her the championship back, I still feel like Dominic will still be involved.
Yeah.
So I just feel like if you're gonna do it,
make her reign better.
at least make the reign make sense.
No, for sure. So yeah.
That's my only caveat.
Next match.
Damian Priest versus Finn Balor.
I've not been paying attention. My brain is like, oh, I'm gonna give it to Damian, but I don't know what's been going on. There's a chance it's easily Finn.
Definitely. I know that the build up to this has obviously been when we go back to Finn Balor costing Damian Priest the championship against Gunther. Maybe this is his lick back.
This has been going on since Money in the Bank.
So
I'm giving it to Finn because in my head, Finn is right. Sorry.
In my head, Finn
is right. He's been right the whole time. Damian cost him how many championships against Seth?
Oh, that's so
like
true.
Finn is right, but I
so
feel
true.
like because of the whole Judgment Day, Finn is gonna take it.
I'm gonna be such a hypocrite. I'm gonna change everything tomorrow. Just saying.
I don't know. Do you know what? It's giving filler match. So I don't know. I feel like I would like to see Damian Priest take it. I can't lie. I would like to see Damian Priest take it. I don't think Finn has anything to gain from this, in my opinion. Like, I just think...
I think they cut the ball on Finn ever since he lost the Edge at WrestleMania. Since then, he's been on
and then
a
they
decrease.
ruined the demon.
Like, they
let's
just...
not even go into it, please.
Maybe he
still
should
upsets me.
He should just go back to NXT and be heel again.
Finn and NXT, beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Every reign. Anyway, next match.
I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna say Nia Jax versus Bayley.
Oh, Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. And I think I said Nia Jax for me, my hope out of this would be that Nia Jax wins and Tiffany cashes in.
Perfect.
Because I would like that.
We like Tiffany
grabbed
time.
her throat.
Oh, yeah. I saw some weird tweets about...
Somebody thought it was Sabrina Carter. And I thought that was hilarious.
That was funny.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously... we're gonna review this match later, but there was a matchup between Naomi and Bayley to decide who would face Nia Jax at Bad Blood, and obviously Bayley, spoiler alert, won the match. I would hope that Nia Jax and Tiffany, if Tiffany does cash in, that they go off, have their own little rivalry, and then Bayley and Naomi have their rivalry, because as you guys pointed out, interestingly, that the women do need more rivalries outside of
they don't need the championship.
Yeah, and Naomi and Bayley are quite established in themselves anyway.
I say that, but it's not everyday best friends breaking up.
Yeah,
it's actually okay.
Yeah.
Like, also, how many best friends does Bayley have?
I know, right?
No, it could just
Bayley's
be
the problem.
Yeah.
Bayley
is
the
Naomi.
problem.
Naomi thinks, actually, I'm better than you and I deserve this and stuff. You're right. It doesn't have to, like... There's more to women than just our friendships. Please.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. And then obviously the two sort of what I would describe as the main events. The first one being CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match.
Wasn't this supposed to be the actual main event before they changed it?
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to take this because I don't know what's been happening since the friendship bracelet broke. So I'm just going to say it.
Well, CM Punk's mainly been in NXT. So...
Oh.
Yeah, he's the guest referee for Trick and
what's her name?
Ethan
Roxanne
Page,
basically
and then
was like she was a Drew
Roxanne
fan.
cussed him out as well.
Yeah, so you're right.
There hasn't been much.
They have been having some promos here and there. CM Punk just hit a very scathing promo in terms of like the devil is a liar type.
The devil is a liar.
I'm the devil and y'all this, and then you're gonna see the monster inside me type of thing. But I think the build up to this has been obviously quite interesting. It's been great. It's been cohesive.
Yeah.
It's been decent. Do I want this to end at Hell in a Cell?
I mean, that's what I always thought it was going to happen.
Do you think they need a fourth match?
Do we need a fourth match?
That's the real question.
That's the real question.
I always thought it was going to end with a cage as the final kind of like you can't get out of here.
Yeah, I would like it to end. I don't think it's going to end at Bad Blood, unfortunately.
I think Bad Blood is a filler pay-per-view as well.
I think Bad Blood is too much of a filler for it to end there. It's probably going to end at Survivor Series, or if they can stretch this to Royal Rumble, they probably will.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't mind if it's always going to be instances where, like, let's take the Royal Rumble, for example. They still show instances of that rivalry, and so, like, you know, one of them's going to clothesline them out of the ring. I don't mind long-standing rivalries as long as, like, it's not the major focus again. I mean, like, John Cena versus Randy Orton, you know, like Edge versus Matt Hardy, and then, like, even when they stopped that, there was still, like, an issue. So, like, I don't mind that. So it needs to end, but they can continue, like, these lot hate each other for the rest of it going. Because, yeah, it's been great online.
It's been great.
I just don't know who's going to win this match.
I don't know, so I'm not saying anything.
You know what? I'm going to go for Drew. Because CM Punk in a cage scares me.
This is rare. Because I was batting Drew for the whole time. You guys were.
I think...
like, the thought of it scares me.
You think he's going to get injured, don't you?
I'm worried for him, personally.
Let's wait and see.
I think...
Unless AJ comes out.
No, but she, like, has no idea what's going on. She said she
just
doesn't care. She's not involving herself.
She doesn't care.
She just knows that there was a bracelet
For
involved.
a second, I thought you meant AJ Styles.
Oh, no.
I was like...
What's the meaning?
No.
What's AJ Styles got to do with this?
Instead of let's get ready to fly, it's let's fly it up. That AJ.
Yeah. But do you know what? I don't know. I don't know what after this match, like if they decide to end it at Bad Blood, which they're not, who would go where. But I would like. I can't lie. I don't know. I want to protect Punk. I think CM Punk should win this.
And
I'm
being coy and saying no one. DQ. Even though you can't have it. I know. You can't.
But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think Punk should walk away the victor at this one, because when I think of how it went, it was
back-to-back wins.
Back-to-back. No, wasn't it Punk?
No, it was Drew.
It was Drew, then Punk.
Drew, Punk, and then Punk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I still think Punk should walk away.
Wait, what was the third Punk win?
No,
there hasn't been.
This would
be potentially
would be the second Punk win.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think
it will elevate Punk more than it would elevate Drew in terms of who wins.
Yeah. And then, because Drew can still go to other places, I think
we know Drew's a great wrestler.
I
and
think
a great player.
Drew and Gunther is gonna have their little, yeah. Drew should go back into the world heavyweight scene, because Gunther needs someone, and Punk I think should go into the world championship, because the next match, the main event, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline.
I'm tired of the main events being like, when's Cody gonna actually defend again? Hasn't it just been tag team championships?
He had he faced Solo at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
What? Did he have a match with Basha Billin?
Oh shit, yeah, he did. Ignore me. But who was that with? Who was that with?
Kevin Owens.
Oh yes.
He's been defending.
Do you know what it is? I think my brain is just thinking I'm tired of like the whole Bloodline sort of thing being like the main event and stuff, because like obviously at SummerSlam wasn't it
the Solo match and Cody match was the main event.
Yeah, but it was just them. But I think in my brain I'm thinking it was mixed because of just Bloodline being involved all the time, and I just need Cody to like. The promo was great. Yes, everyone's like, "Ooh, cinema! Never seen this before."
Oh
However,
my God,
I'm ready for them to separate.
Emmy award.
That's not how Emmys work.
It's not an Emmy. Sorry,
I don't give a damn.
I was so
confused. I don't
confused.
watch the Emmys, but I will watch the Emmys just to see Cody and Roman Reigns collect that award
and
for best short film or whatever.
The Emmys are TVs.
What best TV film in a TV show? Like
I will teach you what the Emmys are.
I saw Cody in a different light after that.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think Cody needs to go heel.
I said Cody Rhodes.
Let's just add that.
She's just moving on. You know what, Angela? You're such a hypocrite because you absolutely hated Cody
I'm sorry,
for most part of the year.
AJ,
and here you are now. I saw those tweets.
AJ, I don't know how that's.
You need to watch heel Cody in New Japan.
I don't know how. I'm not watching heel Cody in New Japan.
I promise you, it was so good.
I'm not gonna lie. When he took over the Bullet Club.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, you see how she just quickly flipped? I don't want to watch it. Oh wait.
No, when you
when you give us
when you give
specifics.
me the specifics, then I'll remember, because I'm not gonna lie, Cody Rhodes in this segment, I was just like,
Something Angela realized that he could be attractive in this segment.
No, not even in that sense.
whoa.
Not in that
How
sense
did
at
you get
all.
there?
No, I just
It's
thought
when he was when
It was the specific tweets that I was looking at. I was like,
when
huh?
Roman was like, "This field, I own that,"
Yeah.
and then Cody was like, "You see there, you see there, you see there, I own all of this."
Yeah,
All of
that was actually so
this.
funny because like the difference, I'm just like Roman being like, "Oh yeah, this is my turf," but really, actually, this was Cody's city.
This is
So I'm
Cody's
just
hometown.
No, but it was just like, again, you just saw how Cody has come to be how he is today. He emulates his father so bloody much, but then he's been able to actually, you know what, create his own person. And I saw that in that particular kind of like in that whole scene. I was just like, wow, you have really grown. Like, you have become this smoke and mirrors to this big ass champion who is
It's true.
going word for word with Roman Reigns in such a production, and you're actually like, you have made this blood, like, some people would fall into the kind of like, you know, when they're in a family sort of situation, they will fall into this family sort of swallowing them whole. You have managed to keep yourself and this family separate. Like, yeah, you have the bloodline. You've managed to make this family feel important, because obviously I love dynastic kind of, you can, in any kind of film, in any time of TV, I like the whole dynastic nature. I think it says in my favorite anime, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, generational stuff, dynasties, names, and all of that. Those mean a lot to me. So I particularly enjoy the bloodline story because of that. And I enjoy Cody Rhodes as well, because obviously he has his own dynasty as well. He has his own family. And for you to be able to keep that afloat and just make it seem like your family's important, I'm important, and be able to sort of do this in that capacity and just elevate yourself, but elevate them as well. I saw it in that light, and I was just like, this is fantastic. Cody is fantastic.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I put my hands up and I say Cody is fantastic. Cody is,
I've been training for a moment like this.
I put my hands up.
Guys,
I was
if you
waiting
remember
for
at
it.
WrestleMania, this
Every
girl
night.
walked out when Cody won.
Every night I ask God that AJ will see the light with Cody.
Have you been
I
praying?
see-
I've been praying.
I've seen
She's seen the
praying.
light.
I've seen the smoke
It
in the
only
mirrors.
took one production.
smoke in
It took
mirrors.
but this is what I was craving, because he was beginning to fall behind a bit. Like, what you need something. I feel like, again, for me, you need that spectacular moment for you to be able to shine in my eyes. That's just how I watch wrestling. I mean, the reason why my GOAT is my GOAT, Stone Cold, talk about your John 3:16s, talk about your Bibles, Austin 3:16 says I whoop your ass, has changed my life. The whole Rock
Final
the
boss.
final boss, that one particular,
Which made Angela cry.
which made me cry, is I'm even in tears. Like,
Yeah.
it just takes a spectacular moment for me, and that for me,
That was your moment.
was my
That
moment.
was your moment.
My moment was the bruise in the cage.
Do you,
Sorry.
Oh, I was shocked.
That
actually
was
about
a moment.
That was shocking. That was
and
shocking.
the fact that he did that, he was
Yeah.
like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Don't
Wait,
care.
so you're all... I don't think I had a specific turning point for Cody and stuff, because I was a fan of him.
No,
In
I've always been a
previous
fan, but I feel like
WWE.
in WWE specifically, he's had a couple moments, but there are shining moments that he's had. And the bruise for me is mine.
Yeah.
For Angela, it's the field production thing.
Yeah. I don't know what mine would be. I'll just say WrestleMania because I was waiting for it.
That's a moment in
So-
itself.
That's a moment.
His return
Yeah.
in
His
itself.
return
His
in
return,
itself
is
was
a
even
moment.
actually his win at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble?
I mean,
Royal Rumble.
A lot of them are mumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But just to quickly go back to that and stuff, how you've explained this is why actually Roman and Cody are the only reasons why I would care about this match. I'm so over Solo, which is why my confusion with the bloodline is like, oh, I want it to be over. I don't give a crap about Solo. Like, I actually... Jacob, yeah. I don't know.
Nobody
He's a bit of a
cares about
psycho.
Solo.
Nobody
That's
cares
But I
about Solo.
really
I
don't care
think
about Solo,
every-
and that's why I need it to cut.
I think
Right?
everybody is invested in Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because number one, his wrestling ability, and I think definitely, there's something there that they can you can push
Yeah.
Solo to the point of
Jacob.
not Solo, Jacob, sorry, to the point of,
I don't care about Solo.
yeah, I think replace the two, but just yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think Cody and Roman are walking out.
Yeah,
the
same.
victors.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And then they'll have their match.
Or unless Seth Rollins decides to do something.
I thought he just came back to.
Just came back.
I thought he was coming back to face Bronson Reed.
But he might want to just, because remember, Survivor Series is around the corner as well. Yeah. We got to start making implementations. But anyway, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are walking out the victors here.
Cool.
We agree. Cool.
Right.
All right. So time for the Rock and Sock review.
Which one are we going for first?
We are gonna go for let's get Bayley and Naomi out of the way.
Cool. I thought it was a decent match, not a showstopper. Great TV match.
I think their match with Tiffany was better than this match.
Yeah.
But it was an average, decent TV match.
Yeah.
The main attraction for me was the Uno. That
was so cool.
All of her fits are great.
Her fits are
I
amazing.
want to be voting in her new fits. She keeps posting them on Twitter, and I'm like, I want to vote on which one I want to see next.
Yeah.
Whoever her stylist is, I love you.
No, for sure.
You're doing the good Lord's work. No, she has a
or
stylist.
maybe secretly it's Bianca.
No, she has. No,
I'm only joking. She has a proper stylist, but who knows? Maybe people in the
back.
who
makes her own clothes, Willow.
Oh, shout out to Willow. I love Willow so much. I have nothing much to say on this match. It's a decent TV match.
I need the rear view to disappear again because I don't like that move. I've never liked that move.
Never liked it.
It's very annoying. I do like that at the ending. So I've never really cared for Bayley to belly. I find it very annoying of a move. I like that she had done it and then went on the top rope to do the elbows. So it meant that Naomi, it took more than just that to pin Naomi. So Naomi kind of still looks strong and a victor in that sense. But Bayley to belly and rear view need to go.
To belly move.
Boop.
I feel like when she started Damage Control, she should have got rid of this move.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit you anymore. Have you not grown out of this?
Yeah, you need to grow.
You've been doing this for years.
It's the idea is that it's a hug slam.
It's a hug slam. Bro, you're actually better than this.
I need to grow the fuck up.
You need to grow the fuck up. I'm being so serious.
You need to grow the fuck up.
If not, bring back those inflatables. Because if not, I don't know what you're doing. And I don't even like the jumping arm thing. I don't like it because she doesn't do it well.
What, the arm? Jumping arm? The elbow?
Yeah,
elbow.
she doesn't do it well. So
yeah,
I need her to come.
Kyrie's one is 10 times better.
She needs to come up with something else.
Yeah,
because I'm not believing her finishing maneuvers.
Yeah, I definitely think that Naomi's athletic prowess.
Shout out to the corkscrew.
That corkscrew was great.
She is an athletic woman, and she definitely shone athletic wise in this match. This is going to be a very quick one because I can't lie.
Is there a rock?
I just feel bad for Naomi because even commentary was like, she hasn't had a single championship in WWE specifically since 2017.
Yeah, I would have preferred not to have a number one contenders match. Naomi either should have won or it should be a triple threat and then sow the seeds for Naomi being heel or whatever they want to do and stuff. But I actually think it makes more sense. I don't know. I don't have an explanation as to why. To me, it makes more sense Naomi going against Nia than it does Bayley going against Nia. Bayley's already had the championship. She's lost. Have they had... I can't remember if they've faced
They didn't have a rematch.
They haven't... Oh, that's why they've done that.
My reasoning as to why I think definitely I would have liked... I'm okay with Bayley versus Nia Jax because I didn't want to see Naomi on the losing end I'm tired of her being on the losing end being used as a sort of
placeholder,
like a placeholder or a spare person to have, or if she was going to win against Nia, it was going to be Tiffany cashing into. I want a place for Naomi. She's pivotal to the women's division. She is important to the women's division, and I want people to start building her because if you want me to be very real, I'm tired of the whole four horsewoman type. I'm tired of them. They've had their time. Let's move on. Let's start establishing different stars in the women.
This is going to be very orcs when Charlotte wins the Royal Rumble next year when she comes back.
Even then, I'm tired.
My creative vision would be for Naomi to turn heel and then Bianca and Jade to also turn heel.
Yeah.
But
And,
the thing is, with that situation, there are not enough babyface tag teams for Jade and Bianca to be facing. So it's like there's not much for them to do other than be the way that they are.
Maybe Naomi wins the Royal Rumble. I would like that for her.
I would like that for her. I would like something for her, but like I said, I want her to start like we move away from the whole Bayley put Bayley to the shelf for a bit, but obviously Bayley, I don't know, it's not gonna happen. But put these lot away for a bit and let's start. Because I'm not gonna lie.
To be fair, they are away because Becky's no longer
wrestling
there, I mean, right now. Charlotte's currently still injured.
Sasha's
gone.
But like I said, it's just like let's start establishing new people.
That match has never happened. Let's go over it.
Naomi being one of them, and just
Well, it kind of did happen. It was a tag team, but yeah, you know what I mean.
It's not the same thing.
You know what I mean. Anyway, Rock or Sock.
I can't lie.
The match didn't suck, though. It
didn't suck. The match was a rock because it didn't suck.
Let's be real.
It was a fruity pebble, as I say. It was tiny. It was fruity because Naomi's gear is always so colourful.
Yeah, it was alright.
We're giving it a fruity pebble.
Fruity pebble, perfect.
Giving it a fruity pebble, you know. Okay, let's get on to more bigger and important things. Let's go to Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness at AEW Grand Slam. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Not the Grand Slam in Australia. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Now, for me, the build-up. Trash.
I just think this whole thing was very silly. Like, I'm sorry, you're telling me the only reason Nigel had a match is because Darby Allin decided to face Jon Moxley at Grand Slam to give up his championship match. I'm gonna beat somebody up today and tomorrow and next week.
Not me, please.
No, it will be TK because he's the one that's writing this shit. Yeah. I'm gonna beat him up because that makes no sense. This whole thing is convoluted and silly.
It's very silly.
I don't really have thoughts.
And personally, for me, I just don't feel like this is Nigel's second match since coming back from retirement. I don't think he was ready for this match personally. And you could tell during the match that he wasn't ready for the match to happen.
So what I was trying to figure out, because obviously they're building up to the fact that they haven't faced each other in such a long time, and obviously they had so many great matches in Ring of Honor. But my question for you guys, because again I said I have more questions than thoughts. My question really was based on the fact that I was reading that people thought the placement of this match was very odd given the storyline. And then I remembered, didn't the Blackpool Combat Club thingy, whatever, didn't they literally just attack them?
Danielson.
So why did they have this match in general? Like, wouldn't Bryan, oh my God, don't sue me, please. Wouldn't Bryan Danielson be more focused on Hellbent Revenge against that?
Yeah, I would agree, but he's a fighting champion. That's just the kind of person that Bryan Danielson is. He was going to do a match regardless.
It does. Okay, cool. I was just curious about that. So then going into the match, the best things I thought was like, it was nice to see Nigel, but like I didn't think it was going to be a great match. I wasn't expecting anything because, let's be honest, as you say, this is his second match coming back. And nothing is ever really going to emulate the amazing series they've had since it's been years and years and years. And Nigel is not an active wrestler.
Bro,
and
it's been 15 years.
Yeah. And Bryan is constantly going to be wrestling injured.
But that being said, though, one of my notes is that I thought that for someone who didn't wrestle for a long time, Nigel McGuinness did well. He did well.
Those lariats. That's
the
what
lariats.
The
ripcord one.
I loved those lariats.
Great.
Those were impactful lariats.
Even the Tower of London he did.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, it reminded me again just how much I appreciate traditional wrestling styles and moves as I
catch wrestling. Yeah, I really love catch wrestling.
Yeah, it was like. At one point, these two kind of portrayed World of Sports type of wrestling, especially in terms of how they were working each other's wrists at the beginning, and how, you know, you forget that it is the wrist work, and both of them, their moves are in their arms. Like we talked about this when it was more so to Gunther, who has also kind of a similar wrestling.
He does
style
catch wrestling as
well.
well.
So it is like interesting to see like across the boards and the comparisons that this is the kind of like focus on what it is. So I like that aspect. I liked Nigel McGuinness, the actress. Now, as someone who's not familiar,
That guy is funny.
as someone who's not familiar with Ring of Honor, nor will ever be familiar with Ring of Honor, nor will ever watch Ring of Honor.
It's okay. You've already watched some.
I obviously saw this match as sort of an introduction as to what the series that they had. As what they had in the past.
That's a great
No,
introduction.
that's a horrible introduction.
You know what? And I'm going based on that.
It's not a great introduction. Sorry.
And AJ, please actually go watch a previous match.
She's not going to.
I'm not going to.
Because I can even say I've seen previous matches.
I had to force her to watch Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins versus
What's your
Bryan
beef
Danielson
against Ring of Honor?
She just doesn't like
I just
it.
don't have the capacity to watch it, nor do I have.
A lot of your favorites, your greats, have come from.
Do you know actually why I have beef with Ring of Honor? And it's the stupidest reason. Because, every time, obviously, I base my information on current wrestlers of today. Someone will go and be like, oh, but you should go and watch them on Ring of Honor. And I'm like, no, do you know what?
So your beef is with the fans and not the promotion itself.
My beef is just with the whole element of, but you need to watch
Ring of Honor first.
Okay, if number one, I don't want to do that. Number two, like, it's not making the point. It's not making the point
you're
of
missing
what
out on some great matches.
It happens with Seth Rollins all the time.
That's you're literally exemplifying her point.
Yeah,
it's literally what happens with Seth Rollins all the time. Every time we have this debate with Seth Rollins and who he's better than and who he's not better than, but you should go watch him in his Ring of Honor days.
But she's doing it on some form of principle that doesn't stand because she's just pissed off that people are telling her what to do.
No, it's more that.
Or is it that people are too nostalgic?
No. I think it's that. It's the fact that I feel like AJ likes to focus on wrestlers on the now rather than on what they were in the past. So if you're telling her to go and watch something in the past, it's like it's not reflective of who they are as they currently are as a wrestler. And I kind of hear it because if somebody was like, take Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega understand, like, go watch him in New Japan. Compared to now,
no, but the thing the thing is, for me, Kenny Omega has elevated. For me, Kenny Omega has elevated for me, like to a status of, like, I call him like God. Like a god of wrestling. Like Kenny Omega is literally one of the best, if not the best wrestler of our time right now. And the fact that he's just constantly elevating, the fact that he's constantly showing new things, the fact that he's constantly just, like, he's just established himself. Like, nobody's ever going to tell me, oh, go watch him in New Japan. I will go watch him in New Japan, but I know that he's also got some good stuff in AEW as well. And the thing is that is the issue that I'm having with Okada. Okada is veering onto that. Let's go watch him in New Japan, not let's go watch him in AEW. Because for me, I just want you to be on a constant trajectory of just fantasticness. For me, that's my eyes. Like, for me, like I say that Stone Cold is my GOAT because the trajectory of what he was doing in wrestling. In WWF,
it's literally an uphill.
It's literally been up. Like, he's not come back and said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have that." It just, I don't know. It just makes sense in my head that you're just either going on an upward scale of either greatness in character or greatness in ability.
Yeah.
Or you just.
Okay, I absolutely hear it. I'm not gonna tell you to go watch it. All I'm gonna say is, if you enjoy wrestling and you're bored.
Ring of Honor's on YouTube.
I'll never be that bored.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Ring of Honor is on YouTube. But back to the match.
Back to the match. It was a decent match. I give it a rock.
I just wanted to say one more point in terms of I'm very tired of Bryan Danielson and this injured angle. I want it to stop. Okay. I want it to die. I'm for me.
Is it the neck or the wrist?
It's everything.
Because I feel like the wrist part was inventive. Because then he had to maneuver his own movements in a way that was different for him. Because even doing the label lock, he had to do it differently.
Yeah, he did.
Because he was injured. And I feel like doing it on his wrist rather than using his hand, that's him using ingenuity. But the neck part, I understand.
It's like, for me, every match you're coming to, you're being injured now. Like,
It's the idea
let's
of
do
trying to
something
push
new.
him as a fighting champion.
Yeah, but for me also, as an anime watcher, this fighting spirit, I'm sorry, but you hear what I'm saying, yeah?
I hear it,
I
I
hear
hear
it.
it, I
This
hear it, I hear it. That's why I'm
fighting spirit
laughing.
now imagine now we're watching anime, yeah, or you're watching a show. Every episode is fighting spirit, is this, that. It
I know.
loses
that is
it loses his
But
element.
that's
Yeah.
Naruto.
Yeah, but-
Naruto
no.
is
Yeah.
fighting spirit every episode.
But Naruto, when he has his fighting spirit, it's once in a kind of like
Okay.
once in an arc.
No, wait. This is Deku. Deku is fighting spirit every single time.
Single damn
Deku
time.
is Bryan Danielson.
It's losing its element. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to watch a few episodes where it's just like, okay, you're chill and this, that. One thing pisses you off. Like, for me, the best fighting spirit was Swerve versus Bryan Danielson, because it felt genuine. It felt this. But now you're coming to do fighting spirit in on a TV match. I'm not
I
sold.
hear it.
Like, I want it to be once in a while where it's just like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm getting the 9 tails. I'm getting the 10 tails. I'm getting, like, you know what I mean? I want it to be like
Yeah.
Yeah.
over 8,000. He's
Yeah.
over 9,000. But yeah, you know, that's just me. But yeah. Anyway, my takeaway from that match, for me, I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit underwhelming. I can't lie, it was underwhelming. People who haven't seen each other, like, if you wanna, if the Ring of Honor fans say that this
Don't
is
expect
not
a
their best.
5-star classic is basically what it is.
I said my point. I said that Nigel wasn't ready for the match, and he wasn't ready for the match.
Do you know what? You know
I
when
think
he
it
was doing
should've
the
gone
elbow
shorter.
strikes.
Yeah.
When he was doing the elbow strikes,
a
it
lot
was
of it was
looking.
soft.
It was sluggish.
Yeah.
It was looking like
Even when he was even when he was punching
Roddy
him,
Bort.
No,
It
yeah.
was giving.
when he was punching him as well, it was like he wasn't touching it. So in general, it should have been a shorter match
Bro,
than what
when
it
he
was.
was running the ropes, I was like, bro, you're very slow when you're doing this. I even wrote it down. I was like, when Bryan's on the offense, the match is on speed, it's on go. It's quick, it's fast paced. I'm enjoying this. When Nigel was on the offense, I'm like,
This is why it was opening and not the main event.
there you go.
And I would have been very annoyed if it was the main event.
I would have been tired. I would have fallen asleep.
Yeah. So
No offense.
But for me,
it's a tiny pebble.
it's another fruity pebble. I can't.
It's a
lie.
fruity pebble,
It's
yeah.
another fruity pebble.
Because I can't say that the match sucked entirely, because
Yeah.
it didn't.
It was
No,
a
it
very
didn't suck.
cohesive match. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie; these two
Yeah.
are great dance partners, but they're the kind of dance partners who, let's say, you know, in Strictly Come Dancing, when the two like old people come together for memory's sake.
Yes.
that was giving much.
Yeah.
That it was just like, oh, let's just entertain the old fans. Let's just entertain.
That feels
you
like
know,
a call out to Anton.
like in it, if Anton Dubek and I don't know, just someone decided to just have a one last dance for the memory.
This is like if all the X-Men came back together from the first movie.
Oh, well.
Oh my god, this is when all no, this is not when the Avengers came together.
No, that's
it's
different.
not. It's not. It's not.
But yeah,
it's not.
it was very much for Ring of Honor nostalgia fans' sake. Like, if you are a wrestling,
I don't even think it
fan-
was that close.
Like, if you are a
Yeah.
wrestling fan,
I-
like
The
then-
initial idea of it, great, but the actual execution,
It
nah.
wasn't that
So
great.
if
I
you are a
mean,
wrestling fan, go watch their previous series.
But yeah,
I mean, there's some things to look for, I guess. Like, you now have Bryan Danielson versus John Moxley, unless Christian wants to get involved.
and Christian should get involved. I need that kind of explosiveness in AEW now. I'm tired. Do you know what? I want them to, this is going to sound so bad, but I want them to start dishonoring this championship. Let's add some scandal. Let's
Dishonor on your mother.
like,
Dishonor on
do you know
your
what I
cow.
mean? Do you know what I mean? I need some kind of scandal. I need some kind of cheap way to win it. I need some kind of like dramatic way. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of let's pass it on to the next one. Let's pass it on to the next one. Let's shake up the room. How about I shake the room? Like, let's mess it up.
Where's the Pop Smoke?
Do you know what I mean?
Throw it in the
Let's-
trash.
Let's add
Spray paint it. Do
you know what I
something.
mean? Let's add
Set it on
some-
fire.
Yeah.
Make a
Thank
new
you.
one.
Like, I'm sorry, but like these, like the World Championship needs some kind of
Sprucing.
It needs some spruce. It needs some blood on its hands. It needs
Yeah.
some dirty.
It needs someoone's bloody
It
handprint.
needs dirt. It's too honourable. It's too clean. It's too respected. Disrespected. Let's just let's make it.
Let's mess it up.
Let's mess it up. Let's class it. That's what I want. I'm tired. I'm
want to
really
see
tired.
wahala.
Innit? I want to see
trouble.
drama. Ah, I'm tired. Let's honor this. Let's honor this. Let's make this champion. Let's make that champion. No. Anyway,
Oh my god.
on that note, guys, thank you for tuning in
Yep.
for Tea and Tussle. That has been the Tea of the Week,
And this has been the tussle of the
Tussle.
week.
and this has been
Yeah.
the Tussle of the Week.
AJ is tussling the AEW championship
Ah.
right now.
No.
I'm sick of it. But anyway,
She
I've
wants
been your
all
host.
of it.
I've been your host, AJ Hold It Down.
I've been Chidera, aka the head baddie in charge.
And I've been Natalie.
Bye.